Hello and welcome everyone to round number 11 here, coming to you from the Spanish Grand Prix here at Barcelona, here in Barcelona at the Catalunya circuit for League of Europe for Division 4 here on the Saturday evening for round number 11 in the commentary booth to take you through this one as always, and it's been this way all season. Myself, QVR Packer, going to take you through main comms, and Excel Gary alongside me. How's it going, Gary?
Not doing too bad. Getting a bit bored now. Stuck with you every week for the last 10 weeks. We'll make it 11 now, so it is. I can't wait for the season to end realistically. So, yeah, hopefully these next few races fly by.
Yeah, most definitely. I can't wait to get to the end of the season for a much different reason. I obviously just hate commentating with you. I mean, such a pain, am I right? But yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait though to get to the end of this championship and kick the season off, end off the F1 2020 game with season number 5, as well as in Brazil. So it should be a pretty good race, especially for the Division 4 championship. Right now, Ariel Calvin and Forza Brennan up there at the top of the standings. Right now, 1-2 for AlphaTauri. He is only 2 points off the back of Calvin though, even though Calvin was locked out of his house for one race and ended up not finishing in Singapore. But yeah, anyways, Forza Brennan leads on 134 points. Calvin is on 112. The two Relentless boys, the two AlphaTauri boys. Forza Brennan, I don't think has changed his name. No, he hasn't. You can see the Irishman right there on your screen, highlighted by the little white line there. But yeah, anyways, so it's the two AlphaTauris, the two Williams, and then Brandon, who has been predicted by one Killer Blue in Killer's Instincts, saying he's been on a pretty decent run of form. No podiums since Monaco. But has been very, very consistent, bar that one sort of disappointing race in Singapore. But I'm sure almost everyone's race could have been objectively disappointing in Singapore.
Yeah, and I think we're starting to see the top three are pretty much in a field of their own. I don't think, no disrespect to any other driver, I think Goldie's on the cusp of still being in the championship battle if something goes down, but he is falling away from the top three. Just doesn't seem to have the raw pace that they have. And I don't think he'll mind me saying that, but I think if some shenanigans go down towards the end of the season, he could be there to pick up the pieces. And who knows, he could find himself right back in the mix. But at the moment, we have the two AlphaTauris and the Williams have heated. And for Calvin and Brendan, two Ariel guys now, of course, recently signed. Be interested to see how that changes the scenario or the mood amongst them. I doubt it will change much, to be honest. I expect them to still go full racing to the end as they're battling now for a championship. Too much, but you never know. But dry quality at least anyway. So yeah, guys to see. Killer Blue said himself, Brandon is one to look out for in Killer 6. He's had quality results. They're not always gone well from him in the race. A bit like Calvin, who's had a mega quality this season, but sometimes fallen a bit on the wayside in the race. So I think those two guys are definitely two to look out for in quality, because I think they've been, in my opinion anyway, they've been some of the stars of qualifying this season. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on here in Barcelona around quite a tricky track, not very easy to invalidate, so I'll be interested to see how they get on around here.
Yeah, speaking of mega qualities, last time out in Japan, I think Ariel Calvin was on pole by 2.5 tenths, and in Monaco it was almost half a second his margin up at the top of the field. So yeah, he's a bit of a quality merchant. I don't want to say quality merchant because he's obviously very, very good in the race. Second in the standings means you're at least not too bad in those race conditions. Here tonight, I do believe we have 33 laps coming for the drivers for this Spanish Grand Prix for round 11. 16 corners here at the Circuit de Catalunya, I think it is. I'm not exactly sure on the name, but I know Catalunya somewhere in there. Yes. Right now, Major Falcon is just coming through the heart of the middle sector, opening up DRS for what would be the second time on this lap, just dipping into the final sector here through 10, 11, and 12. Let's see how Major Falcon can get on. I believe he had a good result just a little while ago. I'm not exactly sure. Well, he does have a win, and that is the only podium this season. Is going to be coming to you from Russia. So Russia seemed to be pretty good for him. Hopefully he can get on very, very well here. But now just coming out of the final quarter, out of turn 16, and just about to cross the start-finish line. Let's see what the Haas driver can do. Try to turn up his performance from the last few races. Let's see if he can get back on the top 3 steps in that podium. Breaking into turn 1, a little bit wide of the first apex. You can use all the curb that you really want to, but at turn 2, if you touch that curb and you're not all the way over it or completely avoiding it, you can go off into a spin. Coming through the flat out turn 3 and now braking into turn 4 into the middle sector 21.29 there from Major Falcon. Easy into the grass. That's a mistake you'll see a lot of drivers doing, losing his front wing there for Falcon. That's not what he would have wanted from his lap. A very easy mistake there to make. It's a very common one I've made very, very many times. I'm sure you have made that in practice as well. Sabino is going to be the next driver, hit Major Falcon's teammate in the house. Just coming through turn 6 and now braking into turn 7. You want to try and use as much curb as possible and get the straightest run through 7 and through 8 and now through 9. Try and take it flat, a little bit touch of the curb. He has to lift off ever so slightly just to make sure he keeps the car on the track. And very easy to validate there on the exit of turn 9. Now opening up the DRS and now braking into turn 10, trying to get the best exit possible. You can't straddle the curb there on the right, and then through 11 and through 12, trying to get the best traction possible. A little bit iffy there on the traction with those rear tires into 13. Don't touch that curb too much on the inside, and now through 14 and through 15, a lot of curb there for Sabino there. Can't unsettle the car, but it looked pretty decent there for the Haas driver. Sabino is going to be the first driver to cross the line, opening up the DRS 15-1. Pretty decent lap there from Sabino. I was expecting a little bit slower, especially for Bengalas, but Sabino seems to be pretty much on it.
Yeah, not a bad lap for the Haas driver. Of course, he is reserved, so he's still in tonight in the Haas, so not the worst lap in the world. We've got quite a mix, quite a variant of. His Polly Post has crashed out going up the hill, turn 9. And that's his qualifying end, and he's lost his wheel, and he will be starting at the back of the grid. But as I was saying before that, a big variation on tires. And he
into the pit lane.
Big. That is massive. Wow, that is huge for the championship. You see, he'd start last week in qualifying, but he got disqualified at Japan, and he managed to claw back to P2 in the end. But he's going to have to do it all over again at Japan. Japan's very difficult to overtake in, so it's a lack of concentration by the Williams driver hitting the barrier or the wall, pit lane wall going into the pits, and that's going to be huge implications for his championship fight right now.
Yeah, most definitely. He's going to have to go from, well, what should be last. I think Pulley Pulls will start behind him. Storm on the mediums just goes into P6 there. Actually, just looking up at the leaderboards there, Sabino on that 51 looks pretty decent right now for pole position, actually, but most of the drivers in behind him are on the medium compounded tires. Goldie is the leader of those medium runners on a 15.8 right now, still on the front row. Sam T, after making his return after a few race absence, he's in P3 right now on the soft compound tire, though, on that 15.9. Calvin and then Ramp and Storm all on the medium compound tires. They're all in the 16s, 16 flat for Calvin and Ramp, separated by 6,000ths of a second between those two drivers. And Storm 3.5 tenths back off of those two. And then Ryan B on the mediums, on the softs, just coming into the pits. Dirt Tim on the mediums, just coming into his pit box. Then Callie and Brandon, who both backed off laps, as you can see with their lap time, 17 flat. Well, I was riding on board with Callie when he did cross the line. He did indeed back off. So 17 flat for Callie. Brandon 19.7 for him, possibly making a mistake on that lap. The next driver, I think, is going to be United Bosnia, just about to cross the line. I think he's coming out of the final corner, just about to start another lap. Yeah, 129.9. That's not exactly representative of his true pace, I am sure. I think Storm would be the next driver, but he should be on an in-lap. Yes, he is. Not making the same mistake he did, though, into that pit lane entry. So pretty decent there for him. And I think the next driver will be Forza Brennan, but has just finished his lap and gone P2 on the medium tire. And now Sabino in the pit lane has fitted mediums, but I'm not exactly sure if he can improve on that lap.
Yeah, I mean, I've practiced with a few of these guys, a couple of the AlphaTauri guys. I know on soft anyway they can do mid to high 14s. So if Sabino's going about on a set of mediums, he's gonna have an almighty task to try and beat that time he set, because I think the mediums are about 5-6 tenths slower than the softs on one lap pace. So unless he's got huge chunks of pace, it's going to be very difficult for Sabino to go quicker on those mediums. But very interesting to see. A lot of people seem to be going for the medium tyres. We haven't really had many representative lap times yet. A lot of people like sandbagging in quotation marks, maybe their lips and going towards the line or whatnot, but there's not really been besides the top 4, I think, or top 5 maybe. I think everyone else has been quite conservative on their lap time. So I think we're going to see maybe the last 3 minutes of qualies where everyone starts really putting in the laps. So I think a lot of people are going for a set of mediums by the looks of things anyway. Maybe we have some rain coming, and that's why they decided to go on to a set of mediums. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility towards the end of the race, trying to get on that better. Well, you can go a little bit longer than the softs on the medium tires. I think on the softs you want to go around 8, 9 if your tire wear can survive it, and then the mediums, you're only going a few laps, maybe 3 to 4 laps longer than that. So mediums don't last too much longer, but right now Camel is on a flying lap, and he is on the red wool tires, the soft compound tires, 21.1. That's a little bit faster than what we saw Major Falcon do, and it is a purple first sector there for Camel, so looking pretty decent already for the Ferrari driver. Right now, yet to set a time, and the highest driver yet to set a time here in qualifying right now. His teammate P6 is ramp 16 flat for him on the medium compound tires. Let's see if Camel can do a little bit better than that. Just coming through turn 9 over the crest of the hill and opening up that DRS. There's a Williams driver up in front of him, but I don't think he'll quite catch. I think that, well, this might be Gold. Well, it's only going to be Goldie because he's the only Williams driver left in the session. Purple middle sector there for Camel, so let's see if he can keep improving on this. If he's going to be purple in those first 2 sectors, he's going to have a massive final sector here and try and beat Sabino, who's actually out on track doing a flying lap on the medium compound tires. So I'm not exactly sure if he's going to be that, how he's going to beat that, or you said he invalidated that?
Yeah, Sabino's involved anyway, as Camel goes to 15.6 and puts himself up into P2 among all the medium runners, so he's in a bit of bother there because he doesn't have many soft runners himself. Top 2, of course, are on the soft run, soft tires. As you said, the Branding does a 15.6 on a set of mediums. That puts him up to P2. That's a really good lap by the Renault, and Killer Instinct seems to be right for once this week. He seems to have got a Major Falcon now goes second, and it's a Haas 1-2 at the moment, so the lap time's starting to tumble down here as people start to get take out the sandbags and start to put in their proper representative lap times.
Yeah, and that's not the first time you've seen, that's Sam T all over the curb there at turn 12, just so much, just sliding there through turn 12. Hit the curb on the apex and then just kind of just went out wide, nothing really he could do about it. Lock up into turn 14 there as well. That's not going to be helping his chances here tonight, especially on this coil lap. Let's see what the time is, though. I don't think he's going to be improving. Yeah, lost at least 3 tenths on that lap for Sam T. Right now, P7 looking to improve on that. United Bosnia just about to start a lap. I think that's going to be Dirt Tim crossing the line. Finds 1.1 seconds on the soft compound tires and puts himself up into P7 as Goldie, actually, a second lap on the medium compounded tires, goes up into P5. So pretty decent lap there from Goldie. Pretty decent improvement, especially now he only has Camel and I believe Brandon's actually on the mediums. He only has Camel and Major Falcon, as well as Sabino in front of him on the soft compound tire. So right now, second out of the medium runners. One of the racing points that might be Cali crossing the line. 17-0 for Cali. Is who was that just improved? Was that? It was one of the McLarens. I think that was. That's going to be difficult to say. Gary, you want to have a shot at saying that?
I've been looking at this name. I've been dreading saying I've got a spinner in the back.
Marty.
That's Marty.
And he's out.
Session. Good. We've got 3 drivers already in this qualifying session, but it's Ecos. Oh yeah, it's Ecos. That's who it is.
Yeah, we'll go with Ecos. There we go.
Ecos. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. I do apologise, but I'd rather not say it instead of butchering his name. So we'll leave it as that. And I think Storm managed to go up to P3 on the set of softs, and Calvin did a 15.3 on a set of mediums. So he's only 2 tenths off Sabino. He did that lap time on a set of softs. So that's a really good lap by the AlphaTauri driver, and what we expect really to come from Calvin, especially in quality. He just seems to be accountable to the rest in qualifying at the moment, as his teammate is now 800 up on his time. He went perfect for the first sector, down into turn 5 now. Very easy to lock up, and now the kink of 6, not really a corner, and then 7 and 8, very easy to invalidate.
And he does.
Invalidate, yeah, he's invalidated. Commentator's curse right there, if I've ever seen it. And he's in a bit of he's under a bit of pressure is now for the Brendan. After invalidating his lap time, he's down in P9 when his teammate is in P2, so he's got a lot of work to do on his last run.
Yeah, most definitely. I think just getting a little bit in the grass there, breaking into 7, that definitely did not help his chances. Maybe those right side tires not exactly prepared for the forces that you need to put through turn 7 through turn 8, especially just to keep it on track. It was the slightest of invalidations, but still cost him his final lap time there. Brandon is coming into the pits after setting his lap time on the mediums. Now it's going to be followed by the 2 AlphaTauris. Calvin is just starting a lap, and Forza Brendan just in behind with that invalidated lap time. It was a 19.9, but he obviously did back off. So now the 2 AlphaTauris are doing slipstream here as Calvin Yeah, Calvin voluntarily giving slipstream there to Forza Brendan to get him on to a good lap. So it seems that relations there down at AlphaTauri seem to be pretty good, even though they're 1-2 in the championship right now.
Yeah, I've been manifesting, as he's 2 tenths up on his time, so he's on a really good lap. So I've been manifesting the Nico Rosberg Hamilton scenario here at AlphaTauri. I've been doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm really hoping it does come to fruition, because they have, of course, joined the same racing team, Relentless, of course. So maybe it's all meant to be. Maybe we'll come down to the last couple of races, and then they have the big contact, of course, in Spain here a couple of years ago. Hamilton and Rosberg did have a big crash here at turn 3, so we might see that again, or turn 4, sorry. So fingers crossed, bit of entertainment, as Forza Brendan is now 3 tenths up on his time, as we should focus on the lap instead of me lagging on. He's got all out shape out of turn 10, and takes a bit too much curve of 11, goes a bit wide at 12. It should be okay though, and it shouldn't happen too much, but it hasn't been the greatest last sector for him, considering he was 3 tenths up on his time. So he definitely could have lost a bit of time. It hasn't been not the cleanest, but it hasn't been the worst last sector in the world for the Irishman. And what's he going to do? It's going to be a 15-8. Yeah, he lost all his time in that last sector. It wasn't, like I said, he lost the back end out of 10, and he just seemed to be taking too much curve in every corner, and then that's really going to happen. He's already done 3 laps on those mediums, so I don't know if he's going to do another lap on those mediums, to be honest with you.
Well, at this rate, he's going to have to pit around when the soft runners are going to have to pit, especially if he's done 3 flying laps on those medium tires. Well, obviously, he did those, the first invalid lap we saw, that would have been for the second lap. But right now, Camel just coming through the middle sector. He was purple in the middle sector, just extending over through turn 12, now through 13, now dipping through the chicane of 14 and through 15. Let's see what type of exit the Ferrari driver can get. He has already done 1 lap on these soft tires, so they're going to be a little bit worse for wear. Opening up the DRS across the line, it's going to be a 15-1, and goes purple, and goes across the line as fastest, and goes on a provisional pole position by 2.5 hundredths of a second. That's a really good lap there from Camel. We saw it a little bit earlier on, but just made a few mistakes in the final sector, and now has corrected those mistakes and put himself there into provisional pole position. Brandon just crossing the line to start an out lap. He's going to be starting a lap on the medium tires once again, as Forza Brendan did. He's already done 2 laps on these tires, so it's going to be those medium tires are not going to be too great, but maybe he can improve. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left here in qualifying. I'm sure he will be able to improve just with better track conditions, maybe lower fuel. But right now, Sam T, 3.5 tenths up as well, just dipping into the final sector through 10, 11, and now through 12. He was on the curve here last time, but on the medium tires. But those soft tires have the grip to sustain getting on that curve on the inside of 12. Now through 13, and now through 14 and 15, this final chicane. Let's see what type of exit he can get. It looked pretty decent. It looked pretty clean there for Sam T in the Mercedes. What type of lap time is going to be able to put down? 15 flat, and he goes on provisional pole position, and he found 6 tenths of a second in the final sector. That's definitely a mistake there in that final sector on his previous lap time, but now we'll be on a provisional pole position. This is what we expected from Sam T coming into the last few races, especially from the beginning of the season. Now he's starting to deliver once again. Yeah,
exactly. This is the Sam T we know, and we've seen glimpses of across season. Of course, the first 2 races he won both of them. Of course, I think one Silverstone got taken away from after the Stewards, but he won on track and Les, and after that it's gone very downhill for the Mercedes driver. So glad to see him back up the front and on pole position at the moment. And still got a very mixed grid of tyres. I'm very interested to see if Calvin and Brendan go out again, because they've done 3 laps on those mediums already. And if you're doing 4 laps on a set of mediums, you might as well start on a soft. You're going to have the exact same tyre wear nearly. And yeah, I'm not really sure what the thinking is doing all those laps on a set of mediums. They aren't the only guys, of course. Got Brandon as well. He's on a lap right now on those mediums. So I'm interested to see how those tyres manage in the race, or they can keep them in shape. I'm interested to see what the Renault driver can do now. He comes through 7 and 8. This will probably be his last flying lap, you would expect, up over the hill of 9. Doesn't take too much curb. Doesn't want to unsettle the car too much. He's very low on ERS, so he has gone for back-to-back laps, as you can tell, and he's marginally down. He's 600s down on his time. He needs to find if he finds a 10th, he can gain 2 positions, get himself up into P5. So he's hoping for a good last sector here, and see what he can do now through turn 14 and 15. Very easy to take too much curve to unsettle the car. He doesn't take too. Oh, he gets all out of shape, and that is qualified over as he heads into the pits. So the best Brandon is going to get is P8 at the moment, and yeah, Forza Brendan and Calvin have gone out on those set of mediums. So I'm very surprised that they are going to go and do 4 laps on a set of medium tyres. It's going to make the race very interesting, I think.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit mad if they can make it to, well, any decent lap. If they want to pull off, well, what would be the medium hard strategy? But for Forza Brennan, actually might be outside of the top 10 if he cannot improve enough. All he has to do is find 31 thousandths of a second if he wants to find himself in front of Goldie. But Goldie will have an opportunity to improve, only do it while doing a lap less on his medium tires. I think the driver furthest ahead on a lap is going to be Ryan B, as he actually invalidates there over the top of 9. So he will have enough time to go for another one if he wants to back off. Right now P13, so I don't know if he actually wants to get into the top 10 on those medium compound tires. I think the next driver then will be Ramp on the soft tires as well. In the Ferrari right now on a 16 flat, but dipping into the final sectors, just a hundredth and a half off of his personal best on the medium tires. So now on the soft tires, let's see how much he can find in the final sector. 5th gear through turn 12, and now into turn number 13. 4th gear trying to get the best possible line, has to double stab into turn 14. That's not exactly what you want, running wide on the exit of 15. He's lost so much time in that final sector. The chicane so very difficult to get correct, and just didn't this time. Found a tenth and a half still in that final sector, but will be the highest he's starting is going to be P14. Cal across the line to finish his qualifying session, and he's going to be in P15. Jordan coming through the final sector in 3rd gear. I think he's run out of fuel though, so he's not going to be able to improve on his lap. It's going to be Ecos, the next driver, but he is invalidated as well. So a lot of drivers making mistakes on their finals run, but Major Falcon yet to make a mistake on this final run. Right now P7 was on provisional pole position for a little bit. 15.5 is his time. For the time being, let's see what he can do. 15.0 and goes onto the front row of the grid. Only a few thousandths of a second off of Sam T on provisional pole position. Sabino goes to the top, and the first driver of the entirety of Division 4 to go into the 1 minute 14. Since Forza Brennan bests him on the soft compound tires, 14.827. That's 600s clear up at the top of the field. Ariel Calvin, I think, just backed off of his soft lap. He did a 15.3. And his fastest lap is going to be on the medium tire, so you'll be starting 6th with that harder compound. United Bosnia comes into the pit lane, and I think that should be it for qualifying. Right now, Goldie and now United Bosnia, the only two drivers in the pit lane yet to retire or finish this session. But Forza Brennan, after doing 4 laps on the medium compound tires, decides to just take the softs in 14.8. There you go. Provisional pole position.
Yeah, I think that was the best thing to do, considering how many laps he's done on a set of mediums. His teammate though, Calvin decided not to go and complete his fastest lap on the softs. He's going to start on those 3 lap all mediums, so it'll be interesting to see what his wear is like in the race. And if he has good tyre wear, he's in the best seat in the house. He's on the best strategy on paper at least. The medium hard, it can be quicker, but you need to get through the traffic quite well. So it's what we've seen throughout the season. That's been Calvin's downfall really. He's quite struggles with traffic and not being near the front. That's where it seems to go wrong for him. But he is the highest medium runner with 15.3, so that was a really good lap by him. But of course, the pole sitter Forza Brennan, the championship leader, taking a marginally pole position, 600ths ahead of Sabino, and he's really put his mark on proceedings here at the Spanish Grand Prix, and he'll be hoping to control the race now from P1.
Yeah, most definitely there. Forza Brennan, Sabino, Sam T, Major Falcon, and Camel are going to be the top 5, as you mentioned, all on soft compound tires. Calvin on the mediums is going to be starting P6. Dirtim, Storm, United Bosnia, and Brendan will be the rest of the top 10. The final 2, United Bosnia and Brendan, are going to be starting on the medium compound of tires. Goldie, Ecos, Ryan B, Ramp, Callie, Jordan, Marty, Heated, and Poldy Poles are going to be the rest of the drivers in qualifying there. Marty, Heated, and Poldy Poles all crashing out of the session. And as you mentioned, Calvin struggles to get through traffic. Forza Brennan, not so much. And that's what brought Heated into the race last time out in Japan. Calvin just couldn't get through the traffic, and Heated was able, or it was and Heated and Calvin all battling for the race win there. And Calvin just couldn't get past Heated, and that's what brought Forza Brennan back into things.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes about this. Will he just wait for the soft runners to pit, and then those 4 or 5 laps that he will have, can he try and do an overcut? We know the hard take a lap or 2 to get up to temperature and get up to racing speed. So I'm interested to see if he's going to hold back and wait and really go for it come those laps when he has the free air. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays this. But yeah, he at the back once again. He's got a big job on his hand. We said how big of a job he had last week in Japan, and he managed to get second. but of course the weather played a factor. He just went very long on those hard tyres and waited till the rain. It'd be interesting to see if he's. I don't think there is any rain this week, so or haven't been told anyway. So he's got a lot of work to do to get his to stay within his championship rivals of Calvin and Forza Brendan.
And most definitely just mistakes in qualifying. Obviously, I don't think he really made a mistake last time out in qualifying, but the retirement here tonight into the pit lane is not exactly ideal for him. So now let's go over the strategies. Calvin, Bosnia, and Brandon, as we all mentioned, starting on the medium tires inside of the top 10. But Goldie, P11, interestingly enough, will go for the medium compounded tires. Yukos and Ryan B will be on the hards. Ramp and Cali, just following them 2 by 2 here, is going to be on the mediums. Jordan, a little bit of an outlier here on the hards, 2 positions behind his fellow hard runners and 3 positions from the back of the grid. He's going to be starting 16th. Marty, Heated, and Polly Pauls, all the drivers to crash out of qualifying or not set a lap time, are all going to be on the medium tires at the back of the grid, possibly looking to make up some positions. And now we can make up some predictions. So Gary, what are you predicting here tonight for the Spanish Grand Prix?
I'm going to go very, very ambitious. I'm going to say it's going to be a lap 1 crash. Forza Brendan's going to be spun around. He's going to come back, get a podium, and his teammate Calvin's going to win, and then to round out the podium is going to be Sam T. That's going to be my top 3. And they're having a very slow formation lap, I must say. I guess that they want to keep as much wear and temperature out of the tyre as possible, because you know yourself, temperature and tyre wear is quite high here at Spain, and Forza Brendan is going very slow on his formation lap at the moment.
Yeah, but there are drivers throughout the field going a little, or going even slower. Dirt Tim a little bit off the back of Calvin, especially Storm, backing these guys up, trying to make the drivers in front of them, their tires as cold as possible. Calvin being, I'm sure, one of the main thoughts there for Storm, because he's on the medium compounded tires, and he's going to try and get Storm wants to have as much temperature in his tires, especially because he's the last soft runner on the grid, so he's going to want to have as much temperature as possible in those tires, so backed up the rest of the field from 8th down. Predictions for myself, then. I'm going to say Forza Brendan wins this. He looked pretty decent on the medium tires, but I think Calvin had a little bit more of an advantage on the mediums, but I don't think he'll be able to get through the traffic there. So Forza Brendan for the win, and then let's go with Heated from the back of the grid for 2nd place once again, and then let's go with Calvin and just have the 3 championship protagonists on the front, or at the front of the field, making it a lot more interesting for this championship. But now all the drivers have slotted into their grid slots, and Forza Brendan will lead us away. We have 5 lights. Lights out, and away we go. It's an AlphaTauri and a Haas on the front row, but it looks like the AlphaTauri has got a pretty decent start. Sabino will have to slip into the, or will go into the slipstream. Now the 2 Haas squeezing each other. Onto the grass goes Major Falcon. Sabino squeezing him there. On the inside line, there's a McLaren. I think that's Ika or Dirtim on the outside, going off into the runoff. Sam T has to cut turn 2. That's Calvin's off into the runoff. He's already down 2 last. Is the only spinner, is the only victim of any contact here tonight on lap number 1. Major Falcon and Sabino still going side by side through turn 4. It's Major Falcon who leads now of the 2 Haas drivers. Sabino has to slot in behind his teammate, but Samty getting not the greatest of starts. He got squeezed out there, had to cut turn 2. But now Storm versus Camel. Storm was the last driver of the soft runners, but now he's up the inside of Camel into turn 7. Let's see what he can do. For the time being, a little bit of gap now to try and make his way back towards the top 4, but Forza Brendan still leads and is starting to pull away up at front right now. 90% Euros. Major Falcon, Sabino, after a little bit of their fight, that gap is starting to open up between themselves and the AlphaTauri driver, but Samty right on the back, and Camel starting to come back into this as well.
Yeah, that was a hectic start. I think Calvin just got a little bit loose on the rear end. I think he nearly went into the back of the car. I was on board with him, and I think he just got trigger happy, and he spent the car spinning round. He got caught on that inside curve, and this is the worst start he could possibly have. And his teammate under that helmet, they're probably in the party together. He's probably not saying he's happy, but he will be grinning from ear to ear. He's got a 7-10 gap. He's leading the race, and his 2 main championship competitors aren't even in the points. So at the moment, he is having the perfect race right now. They got all the poles into the pits. He picked up damage lap 1 as well. I think he's the only one. Well, here in the background, we've got a spinner, I think, who's spun there.
Oh, that's, I think, is that one of the McLarens? It might be Ecos, I think. No, derped him. And he has wing damage.
There are a lot of people into the pit lane with damage. People like Brandon and Jordan as well coming in, and Marty. So Yeah, as the timings are a bit glitchy at the moment. But yeah, worst start possible for Calvin. He's got a lot of work to do right now because he's got a lot of people to overtake if he wants to get back anywhere near a podium position.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is what I feared for Calvin's race. A mistake on lap 1 had that spin dropped all the way down to the back of the field. Obviously, a few drivers coming into the pit lane are going to help him get through that traffic. But now he has to overtake what should be 13 cars if he wants to get up to the back of his teammate. But now Forza Brendan still leading this race. All he has to do is keep it on track, get the strategy right, and he should have a pretty decent chance at winning this race. Obviously, the second part, not too sure yet for Forza Brendan. Is Jeff not too accurate, especially from France and for Singapore there. No, but he does indeed lead and has broken DRS range because of the two Hasses fighting down towards turn 1. Sabino up the inside of Major Falcon. These the two Haas drivers really shouldn't be doing this. They have to try and get back to the AlphaTauri. That's Sabino into the grass. Major Falcon squeezing in there on the exit of turn 2. But Major Falcon has said now to Sabino, I want this position, and we're going to go chase down Forza Brennan, and you're not going to like it. You're going to have to stay behind in that DRS because it now is lap 3. But Camel, a little bit further back, is out of DRS range of the two Hasses. So it's Forza Brennan, and then a gap to Major Falcon and Sabino, and then another gap to Camel, and Samty is right behind them. Camel made that move on Samty. I'm not exactly sure what happened or when that was, but now it's going to be the two Mercedes 5 and 6, and then United Bosnia on the medium compounded tires, followed by Goldie, Ramp, and Cali all in the mediums. They're going to be right there trying to chase with them, but Cali has actually been broken from DRS range by Ramp and by the rest of the train.
Yeah, and everything just seems to be going Forza Brennan's way at the moment. He has the two Haas drivers behind him battling like their lives depend on it, and he's been able to break DRS. And everything just coming up Millhouse for him right now. He's got
the two Mercs. Storm tried to send one up the inside of turn 13 there. Samty was on the outside and was able to keep that position. We have a penalty. Goldie, 3-second time penalty. It's not what he needed in this race. He's the first driver to pick up a 3-second time penalty, but now it's going to be Storm versus Samty down towards turn 1. We saw this with the Hasses just a lap ago, and now it's going to be Storm on the outside of Samty, but Samty is ahead going into turn 1, but you can't break so much later on the outside there at turn 1, carrying so much more momentum, but Storm had to back out of that one. Samty is able to keep the position for the time being. He's going to be staying in P5, now looking to try and close down Camel, who really doesn't have the pace of the drivers in front of him right now. Right now, the gap, I think, was around 1.8 last time. This time last lap, and now it's 2 seconds, so pulling away 2 or 3 tenths as Brandon down in P15 after making that pit stop for the medium tires, for a fresh set of medium tires, does the fastest lap on an 18.7 there. But as we mentioned before, Forza Brennan right now, Major Falcon actually starting to close in Forza Brennan after the two Haas drivers stopped fighting. Major Falcon starting to bring them back within this.
Yeah, but he's very low in ERS compared to Brendan. Brendan's on 76% compared to Major Falcon's only 20%, so he's had to burn through a lot of ERS to get back into that DRS. So because he can't stick in that DRS, he's right on the verge of getting DRS, and that will help him massively, saving not just ERS, but defending from his teammate Savino. Savino seems to be the quicker driver out of the two at the moment, but Major Falcon is not letting him by. There's no team orders here down at Haas, and Major Falcon doesn't have DRS this lap. So Sabino, Major Falcon is derated already, so Sabino will see that. He's going to have a look. He's not using any DRS himself. He's going to try and go a long way around the turn 1. He's going to try and do what his teammate did to him last time, squeeze him out at turn 2. He's going to still go side by side. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. Did you see the dirty air, or not the dirty air, the understeer turn 3, pushing Major Falcon wide into his teammate. And still they're side by side, and Sabino's going to try and hold it around turn 4. And into 5, can he hold it? Can he hold it? I think he has the move done. He's going to have the inside line of 5, and he's just going to squeeze Major Falcon out. And that's Savino up into second. Really clean driving by the two half drivers, and a great move by Savino. But again, it cost DRS to Forza Brendan, and that's allowed him to break away once again.
Yeah, most definitely. But even with that battle and going side by side through the entirety of the first 5 corners here at, here in Spain, they only lost 0.3 of a second, if not, less, there to Forza Brennan. So Brennan not deciding to use a little bit of ERS, trying to pull away, but Sabino and Major Falcon are now going to be following through. But also with that battle, and Camel has been kind of brought back into this gap. It was around 2 seconds before we had Haas battle number 2 down towards turn 1 and throughout the rest of that first sector. But Camel is now in, it's closed in half a second since their battle, and Major Falcon is into the pit lane. That's an interesting strategy call.
That has to be a 2-stop.
Well, I mean, there's no way he's getting hards to the end here, as he comes to the pit lane. Yeah, his pit window does open for medium tires here, so it looks like, yeah, he's going to be going on to mediums, which is a little bit of a question. I don't know, to be honest. What would you have to do? You'd have to do 27 laps. You'd have to do 13 and 14. That's a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion.
I think it's just. I think
It's
might
just,
be just possible.
yeah, just possible, I think.
I don't think it's the most optimal strategy here, though. But he's gone for it anyway, so he's. That releases Sabino. Sabino doesn't have to worry now about looking behind him, looking behind for his teammate. He can just focus now. His full attention on Forza Brennan, who is still. He has the pace, or he seems to be controlling the race. He's dictating the pace. I think he's just holding a little bit back, trying to look after his tyres a little, because we do know, as you know yourself, tyre wear is very marginal here, especially if you're not great on tyres on the softs. So he's going to try and eke it out as long as he can. So he doesn't really need to push. Again, his two main competitors are down in 11th and 13th. Goldie up in 7th though. So Goldie is the second highest medium runner, and he's part of this train behind Camel, who's really struggling for pace here. He just seems to have no pace, as we've got Camel and Santi both hit, so they're both going to be 2 stops as well. And Sabino hits as well. Wow, I'm very surprised at how many people have gone for a 2-stop here, because I don't think it's, well, it could work if they're all 2-stop, and it could make it very interesting. But yeah, that releases all the medium runners, and they're going to start getting, the train now becomes Storm, and they're all going to be trying to hunt down Forza Brennan now. I expect to come in the next 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, those soft tires are going to be absolutely dead. They normally die off after around lap 5. Well, they don't really die off actually here at Spain. They just get a bit terrible to drive on after around lap 5. But they still do have pretty decent pace actually. Well, they do have pretty decent tire life. That's the word for it, I guess. But yeah, Storm now is going to be elevated up into 2nd place, followed by United Bosnia and followed by Goldie. So now Storm, being the lone soft runner here in this train, he's going to be, well, easy for the picking, or well, it's going to be very, very easy to overtake, I'd have to think, because those soft tires absolutely dead there for Storm. But now United Bosnia has the task of trying to get up to the back of Storm, and he will have DRS. Dirt's him there on the side of the road. I think he's going to be lapped there, possibly made a mistake. I saw he spun twice on the exit of turn 8, and I think, yeah, just getting out of the way there for the rest of the drivers. But just riding on board with United Bosnia, you can see how much more grip, how much more control he has over his Red Bull. Forza Brennan and Storm both decide to stay out here for the time being, so not making the decision to come into the pit lane and possibly go for that 2-stop strategy. But now it's going to be United Bosnia versus Storm. United Bosnia is going to be looking up the inside, goes a little bit lower on his ERS management there, but we'll be making that move, and now we'll be up into clean air trying to chase down Forza Brennan. Storm just in behind, and Goldie just a little bit further back. I think Storm might, Heated might have just made a move past ECOS, I want to say. So Heated now is going to be past the highest hard runner. They're out on track. Calvin still right on the back of this though, as well as Ryan B just in behind him. But now Sabino, who's the leader out of these guys, and went on to hard tires, interestingly enough, 12 seconds behind the train, and starting to try and close them down. But Major Falcon is going to be on the medium tires. I think Sabino might just have to let his teammate through here, because Major Falcon, obviously on that 2-stop strategy, could just let him through and let Major Falcon start to tow him along.
Yeah, that's a very interesting strategy that Sabino's on, because he hit lap 7, I want to say, or lap 6. I can't remember completely, but I don't think those hards are going to make it to the end. So maybe he's going soft, hard. Interesting strategy. Interesting strategies unfolding here right now in Division 4. But yeah, like you said, probably the best thing to do would be to let his teammate Major Falcon go by. He is on the quicker medium tyres, but just as look at United Bosnia, he is catching so much to Forza Brennan, as Storm is going to pit onto a set of hard, I assume. He's pitting from, he's gone onto a set of hard. So that leaves Forza Brennan the only soft runner left to not pit. And United Bosnia, these next 5 or 6 laps are crucial for his race. If he can pull down the gap to maybe around 3 seconds, and maybe even eke out a bit of an overcut on those hard, because at the first couple of laps, the old mediums are quicker than fresh hard for about 2 laps at least. So he's hoping to try and maybe get the gap down to maybe 2 seconds by the time he comes into the pits, and net P2. So this race is getting very interesting right now, because you can just see how quickly United Bosnia is catching up Forza Brennan.
Yeah, and now, especially with these pit stops, there's a few breaks in the train. Obviously, Forza Brennan was up in the lead of the race before everyone came into the pit lane, but how is this going to affect him? Because Sabino and Major Falcon, Major Falcon's obviously on that 2-stop. Sabino seems to be on a 1-stop for the time being, but I'm not exactly sure if he can get those tires to the end of the race. And United Bosnia is catching him, especially in that clean air, on those medium tires that he did indeed start on. Goldie, has been dropped from DRS, obviously, because United Bosnia was allowed to get into clean air with Storm now pitting. There's a little bit of gap between those two guys, and now Forza Brennan definitely is into the pit lane and going to be the last driver off the soft compound tires, but definitely, as well as Storm, going for that one soft to hard strategy.
Yeah, and I think Camel, or not Camel, yeah, Ram's got ahead of Goldie now. Goldie just seems to be struggling a little bit for outright pace. He got dropped by United Bosnia and now he's been overtaken by Ram, but still, nonetheless, he's in third in the train. And now, Cowley's lost out of turn 2, and that's wing damage for the Racing Point driver. What a shame for him. He's doing quite well on the medium strategy, but that's his race ruined. He's going to have to go into a set of hard now to the end of the race, and he's got major wing damage. But as I was saying, these guys now who haven't pitted yet, they're just hoping for a safety car. Any safety car now is going to be huge for this race. So they might just, especially like people like Ecos, who's out on the set of hard, he's going to go very long. Same for Ryan B. They're going to go very long into this race. So it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out, because I want to keep an eye on the gap between United Bosnia and Forza Brennan and see if they are catching. If Forza Brennan is catching, the gap is 17.8 seconds at the moment, and it's increasing a little bit this lap. So I'm interested to see now what United Bosnia can do if he gets the hammer down.
Yeah, most definitely. Another gap that is starting to close down, though, is the gap between Sabino, Major Falcon, and Forza Brennan. Forza Brennan, obviously, coming out of the pit lane on this lap, but he's been jumped by both Haas drivers, as you could have really expected, to be honest. With Sabino getting, I think it was a 2-lap undercut, Major Falcon getting a 3-lap undercut, and being on medium tires as they're trying to get around Cali. A little bit of traffic here. Cali, obviously, with that wing damage, having that spin earlier on in the lap at turn 2. Major Falcon getting held up quite a lot, but now this is Forza Brennan's opportunity, because Major Falcon, I think, will have DRS, because he was within a second at the DRS detection point, even behind Cali, but now Major Falcon is derating, and now this is almost no competition for Forza Brennan. Uses the overtake, the mass amount of overtake that he has in his battery, and will make his way past Major Falcon for P9 here on track. Will now have to try and close down Sabino, who has a 3-lap tire advantage, does the AlphaTauri driver, so this could be pretty easy for him to try and close down Sabino. But now he's gonna have to think about Major Falcon as well, because if Brendan isn't able to get within DRS range, as I said, that Sabino goes into the grass there on the exit of turn 4. Not too majorly, but doesn't lose too much time. He loses around about a tenth of a second. Has a little bit of slide through 7 and 8, but just turns into it and gets the corner pretty much nailed on there. For Forza Brennan, though, doesn't have DRS range, and Sabino's starting to pull away. But now this is Major Falcon's opportunity to try and win this race, or hopefully try and help his teammate win this race.
Yeah, and the gap is increasing between Forza Brennan and United Bosnia. The gap is now 18.2 seconds, and Forza Brennan is going to have the traffic of Sabino, and if Sabino holds them up by a second or two, it's going to be extremely close between United Bosnia and Forza Brennan when they come out of the pit lane. So this race is definitely not over with, as United Bosnia has very good paces. Goldie and Ramp going side by side, 3 turn 2. Goldie going around the outside, gets the move done, and gets back ahead of the Ferrari driver. We've got Heaton now behind him in P4. He'll be looking to get past Ram, who is E-rating at the moment. But yeah, keep an eye on that gap between Forza Brennan and United Bosnia. It's come down quite a lot actually this lap. It's down now to 17.4 seconds. So it is coming up and down at the moment, a bit like a yo-yo, as Sam T picks up a 3-second content. So I still think, nonetheless, United Bosnia is definitely in with a shout of this race, because he's going to come out of the pits and he's going to be about 5 or 6 lap fresher hards. So he's got a great chance of winning this race right now.
Yeah, most definitely. He's going to have those fresher tires on Forza Brennan as well as Sabino, but he's also going to have to get past Major Falcon. Obviously, Major Falcon will have to pit again, as well as Camel is just closing him down in behind. Ramp for the big lock up there into turn 10. He did trying to get right on the back of him. Obviously, he started P19 on the grid here on those medium tires. He's trying to take them as long as possible as he can go. Try and get the best, the freshest hard tires possible, and maybe, get a little bit of a lucky safety car and bring himself into contention here tonight. Ramp in himself going through the final chicane through 14 through 15. Ramp has a little bit of a slide there on the exit, but now this is going to be Heated's opportunity. Goldie made his way past into turn 1 on the previous lap. I think Calvin made the move on Ecos on the previous lap as well, but now this is going to be Heated up the inside of turn 1. Let's see what he can do on the Ferrari. Ramp tries to keep it around the outside, goes a little bit deep, tries to cut back for turn 2, but not going to be able to do that. Heated is going to be up in P3 now here on track. It's going to be a Williams 2-3 just in behind United Bosnia, but Goldie yet to start closing him down here on track. Obviously, they both started on those medium tires, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. He doesn't have any tire advantage, but now it's going to be Calvin's opportunity. Calvin really has to get past Ramp here. Obviously started P6 on the old medium tires from qualifying, so this might actually be really hindering here, and also looking a little bit further back. Sabino starting to close in the train.
Yeah, Calvin and Heat, to be honest, they need a safety car. Really, they need a safety car at the moment. Calvin's teammate is 14 seconds behind, so he will come out. Calvin's pace hasn't been terrible on since he's going to overtake ramp around turn 10 down the inside of turn 10, and he just gives the Ferrari driver a bit of a squeeze and makes that position his. We have yellow flags. I think Dirtin has spun again, but yeah, as Dirtin gets a 10-second time penalty. As,
and Ramp picks up his 6th.
Yeah, and
ooh, Calvin with him. Ooh, Calvin.
Calvin's lagging.
Wait.
Calvin's lagging.
Yeah. Okay, I was about to say that looked really strange.
Yeah, he's into the pit, and but as I was saying, he's not too far away from his teammate. 10 seconds off his teammate, maybe. Around 10 seconds, give or take. So like, it's possible he could maybe, as we have Ecos and Ryan B going at it. Ryan B gets overtaken by Ecos as pole vault with 5 seconds on them. Ecos going around the outside of turn 1, and that makes his position up to P4. But of course, these guys still haven't picked the top 6 or top 5. Sorry, still need to pit. And I expect United Boston to come in very shortly because the gap between himself and Forza Brennan has extended. Forza Brennan is now tired or in a much better shape, and yeah, he's managed to get the gap down to 16.5. He's going to have a bit of a buffer to the Red Bull driver, but it's interesting to see what United Boston's pace will be when he comes out of the pit. And Calvin now in P13 after stopping as Brandon gets all out of shape, and he's lost his car out of turn number 4, and that's wing damage for the Renault driver, and it is indeed. So that's a free position for Calvin, and he goes back into the points paying positions.
Yeah, Kills Instincts not doing Brandon too well here on this on this Saturday evening. But he did right now doing pretty decently. Obviously, that crash in qualifying could be accounted to Jab in Jab's judgments. But yeah, now United Bosnia into the pit lane and not speeding. Goldie, or he did into the pit lane as well as Dirtsim has retired in the pit lane, so he's going to be out of this race. Not going to be finishing. He's going to be the first driver to not finish this one. Heated and United Bosnia are going to be into the pit lane, so Goldie will take the race lead here in Spain. 14 laps on his tires right now on lap 15 for himself. Sabina, Forza Brennan, Major Falcon all going past United Bosnia and Heated as those two drivers exit the pit lane. They're going to be out behind Camel.
Forza Brennan, Sabino. Oh my god, Forza Brennan and Sabino made contact at turn 1 and the apex at turn 2. And their tires locked, and they are very lucky not to spin. And this is giving Major Falcon a chance to go around the outside turn 4 of the AlphaTauri driver, and he's going to break his legs. He possibly dares, nearly goes into the grass, manages to hold it around the outside. He's going to squeeze the AlphaTauri driver a bit off the track a little bit there. Very forceful by the Haas driver, but just borderline. Fair enough, I guess. And that's Forza Brennan down now to P6. He tried to make the move on Sabino, very lucky not to spin. And Major Falcon took the opportunity to get back ahead. And look how close United Bosnia is. United Bosnia is not far away from Forza Brennan at all.
Yeah, most definitely. He only has to get past that one car of Camel, who's almost out of DRS range here. And he has quite a bit of ERS, though, to try and make those moves. Sabino on 19, Major Falcon just around the same amount as well. Forza Brennan is on 50, Camel is just around 50 as well. But United Bosnia on 80% ERS. If he can try and get those tires up to temperature and then start using them to catch and use his overtake as well to try and make those moves, he could be in a very, very good position here. Goldie finally is going to be into the pit lane there from the lead of the race and should be dropping in behind. I think should be Samty and Calvin, but now it's going to be Calvin and Samty. Samty will defend the inside. There's drivers in front. Goldie coming out of the pit lane as well. It's all getting a little bit chaotic down here towards the bottom position, towards the bottom end of the points. Goldie goes a little bit wide into turn 1. Samty on the outside. Calvin is going to be... Goldie's off. Goldie's off into the gravel. Yeah. Is able to save it, keep it in a straight line for the most part, but Samty has been spun around. Does he have damage? Does the Mercedes driver have damage there? I don't think he does. It's just a little bit of spin for him, so unlucky to be caught up in that. Was squeezed off on the outside of turn 1. Goldie on the inside of Calvin at turn 2, but Goldie still does have another does have another life if he wants to try and close up to the back of these guys. And now he's gonna have to get through Ramp if he wants to try it and possibly get revenge there on Calvin, but now he's gonna be in this train as well. Storm behind Heated not closing in quite yet on United Bosnia though. That gap is 1.8 seconds, but United Bosnia starting to close down the gap to Camel. Camel, though, in response, has gotten back within DRS range of the 3 drivers in front of him, Major Falcon, Sabino, and Brennan, those 3 drivers there. But Ecos and Ryan B still leading out on track. 16 laps done on those hard tires, and we are on to lap 17, just riding on board with Camel, and they will be going on to lap 17 for themselves just now. But now Forza Brennan trying to put the pressure on Sabino once again. Let's see what Forza Brennan can do this time. He sets the fastest lap of the race. There's a yellow flag. That's Ramp who's had a spin down at the final quarter. Samty cutting the chicane as well, trying to get into the pit lane. But Forza Brennan into turn 1, not able to make that move, not able to get side by side and possibly make that one. Samty speeds into the pit lane. I'm sure would be retiring then. Yep, there it is for Samty. Just unlucky for him. That's another streak of bad luck there for Samty. So unfortunate for him just to get caught up in that incident, and will leave the session there. Beginning of the season hasn't quite ended, I'm sure, how he would have wanted it to.
Yeah, I'm not. Did Goldie? I didn't see the incident. Did Goldie and Samty crash again? Was that what happened?
Well, it was Goldie coming out of the pit lane. Samty was on the outside. Calvin was in. Well, it was kind of there. Samty kind of got pushed off as we have Forza Brennan trying to make the move on Sabino. Not going to be close enough to make that one. But yeah, it was Samty on the outside of Goldie, I believe. And then Calvin was in behind. Samty got kind of shoved off because Goldie went, brake pretty late. Calvin tried it around the outside of turn 3, like up the inside of turn 2, and then kind of squeezed Goldie off into the grass, and that's what happened there. I didn't have the greatest of angles there either, but yeah. Now Major Falcon right now at the front of this train, followed by Sabino. Forza Brennan eager to get past here, and you can already see how eager he is. He has burned 30% ERS, trying just to make the move past Sabino there, but not able to for the time being. This is really helping Sabino with a little bit of slide through turn 2, just getting on the curve there. We have a spinner. I think that's going to be Marty. Down in P16, yes, his teammate and Brennan will just make the move past him as he was sideways. United Body is trying to look up the inside there of Camel at turn 4. I know how that one ends, Bosnia. I don't think you should really be trying that one, but yeah, trying to make his way through. He has the fresher hard tires. He has 5-lap tire advantage on Forza Brennan, but just has to make his way past Camel. I'm sure the Ferrari driver will be into the pit lane very, very soon to get onto either a new set of medium tires. Maybe, I don't even really know what they're trying. I think it's going to be another set of medium tires. But yeah, the United Bosnia just has to be patient for the time being and try and save up that ERS so he can make his way past Forza Brennan when the opportunity comes.
Yeah, and I think at the moment, a lot of guys, I think the net order is Forza Brennan P1, United Bosnia P2, and he is in P3. So he had a great race, and then Calvin's in 4th. So like these guys have had great races from the back. And I might have said Forza Brennan was going to get a podium after being spun lap 1. I meant the other AlphaTauri, obviously, and I meant to say Calvin. And Calvin's on verge of getting a podium here, which would be damage limitations at points, but Forza Brennan is struggling so much to overtake here. He's going to maybe finally get the move done on Sabino. He's going to go for the inside line. Sabino squeezes him as much as he dares, and he's going to try and hang around the outside of turn 2, and they're still side by side. Sabino's going to try and hold it around the outside of turn 3. They're still side by side now as they head down to turn 4. Both very limited on ERS, and Forza Brennan going to try and hold it down the inside. Sabino try and hold it round the outside. They're still side by side. Will Sabino send it down the inside of 5? He will, and he thinks he's going to have that because he's going to squeeze Forza Brennan off, and that's back him up to P3. And Forza Brennan has really struggled to make any dent of this traffic, and these guys still need to pit, and he cannot get past. A safe to be set for United Bosnia, who hasn't got past Camel yet. And if United Bosnia gets past Camel, he's in a great chance of winning this race, as he has much pressure.
Look at it now.
Oh, he's going for it again. The turn 10, the inside line. He's going to be able to do. He's going to squeeze the Haas driver off at 10, and that's the move finally done with championship leader. And he needed to do that move about 3 laps ago, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he didn't make that move as soon as possible, but now just going side by side with Sabino. Sabino went side by side with his Haas teammate on the soft stint just, around 10, 15 laps ago, I want to say, as Camel is into the pit lane from his hard tires, and this is the opportunity that he needed. There was another driver into the pit lane, I think that's going to be Major Falcon as well, off his medium tires. So Major Falcon from the lead of this train, but now it's going to be Heated versus Calvin. Calvin made the move on Heated into turn 1 on the previous lap. Calvin has a big lockup there into the first quarter. Heated tries around the outside of turn 2, still going side by side through turn 2, and now through turn 3, the Williams driver is going to be on the inside looking to gain an advantage, and I think he's going to have that advantage there. Does the Williams driver making the move and getting revenge there on Calvin. Is now going to be Heated into P5 and looking actually for a very, very good finishing position here. He's in front of his one of his championship rivals, just needs to get past the other one. Ryan B still yet to pull into the pit lane. Sabino's on old tires, Forza Brennan on old tires compared to Heated and Calvin. Bosnia has the freshest.
United Bosnia got lost to rear coming out of 8, and that's going to have him in big trouble on the back of Heated now. He's all over him, so Heated's going to have a chance. We didn't have ERS to really make a move for United Bosnia. Very lucky there. He just got a snap of oversteer coming out of turn 8, and he managed to keep the car in a straight line for him. But he's lost DRS now to Forza Brennan, so he needs to get back into that DRS as quick as he can.
Yeah, but now Ryan B, the last driver off the hards to come into the pit lane now. Sabino still will now take the race lead. They're up at the front. Forza Brendan is within DRS range of Sabino. He's going to be making the move here. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough, but United Bosnia not able to get within DRS range there. Is he going to be close enough? I don't think he is, but looking to make the move. He has the DRS open, doesn't have much DRS. We'll look to the inside of the Red Bull driver. Now Heated trying to make the second move in 2 laps at turn 1, squeezing United Bosnia out on the exit at turn 1, and we'll get that move. He's going to be up into P3, but now it's going to be Calvin's opportunity. Does Calvin has damage? Calvin has damage on the front left of his AlphaTauri. And now Ecos is going to be making the move. He's on the fresh medium tires. This is Ecos' chance. I think this is going to be his first race in Division 4 here. And now he's on fresh medium tires and right with everybody in front of him.
I can't believe I don't know where Calvin has got that damage from. I haven't seen it myself when I've been on board with him. We just had so much understeer coming through turn 3. It had to be damage, and it was damage. And this championship just seems to be slipping away from Calvin this season. Seems just to be slipping away from him. As Heated now, he started last place. He started right at the back of Heated. And he's up to third or second, net P2, and he's got a chance of winning this race. He's got 5-lap pressure tyres that Forza Brendan. Is he going to do a last to first? Well, of course, we've got Ecos on the fresh mediums. He's definitely going to be the guy to look out for. He needs to make moves, and he needs to make it quickly. He's got 13 laps to do those moves, and he's stuck in the train at the moment. But if he wins this race, this will be the greatest comeback of the season. And we thought he had the greatest comeback last week in Japan, coming from last to second. But he could even better this week as Forza Brendan finally gets past Sabino and gets up to P1. There's a bit of a buffer now between himself and Heated. But these last 11 laps are going to be incredible, I think. As we've got Ecos coming through the field, and you got Heated chasing down Forza Brendan. Still plenty to go for him right now. But only 11 laps left.
Yeah, most definitely. Calvin just coming into the pit lane with that wing damage is going to fit the medium tires, and we'll have to do 12 laps on those medium tires to get them to the end. Ecos is going to have to do 14. That's going to be a little bit of a stretch for those medium tires, but I'm sure they will be able to take that load and be able to make it that many laps. But Forza Brendan now, as you mentioned, going to be up into the lead of the race. Sabino is going to be just in behind him. Sabino is going to have a little bit of a struggle to get those hard tires to the end of the race. So maybe if Sabino starts thinking about tire wear, Forza Brendan can start to run away up at the front, and that's going to be another driver that Heated and Ecos, United Bosnia, Storm, all these drivers will have to get there to make their way towards Forza Brendan. But I think Heated, in his best interest is to get DRS off Sabino, bring the rest of the train with him, and then Ecos, there's no way you'll be able to make those moves. Obviously, the fresh medium tires is a big advantage, big tire advantage, especially on Storm, he has a 10-lap tire advantage on the Mercedes of Storm, but just not able to get past. You can see the DRS is really aiding Storm. Aiding Storm in keeping Ecos behind there. Ryan B actually, after making, I think he did almost 20 laps on those hard compound tires, is now out on mediums just behind these guys as well. So this is going to be his opportunity to score some big points. As you can see, fastest lap of the race, 18 flat. That's a great lap there from Ryan B. He's absolutely pushing. But now we also have to mention Calvin right now out of the points. Oh, he's been punted by Poldypolls off into the gravel there at turn 12. That's not what he would have wanted from this race. He had contact with the Red Bull driver, the 2 Honda-powered cars, off into the gravel. They're weaving a little bit to tell Poldypolls that he really did not need that one in his race. His race has gone from pretty good to pretty bad to even worse in a race that I'm sure he's definitely going to forget in the near future. But his teammate right now, Forza Brendan, championship leader, is now leading this race, and only has Sabino, who does have a time penalty in behind him.
Yeah, this could definitely put Calvin out of the championship contention. So I think either Forza Brendan or he is going to win this race. And whoever wins it, they're gaining 25 and 18 points on him. And he's gaining...
Ecos.
He's the one that needs to be getting the points. As Sabino picks up a time penalty, that's another time penalty for Sabino. So, yeah, Calvin's championship chances are slipping away slowly but surely. And he's, he needs a safety car. He needs something to happen. What he really needs is Heated and Forza Brendan to have contact and take each other about out. That's what he needs, really, if he be truly honest. But as I think sometimes I don't think Sabino will make it to the end. I'd be shocked if he does 28 laps on a set of hard tires. I will be shocked if he can make that to the end without getting a puncture. As Ecos makes a move on Storm down at turn 1, and he's starting to use his tyre advantage and really catch up to this train. But yeah, Sabino is just being safe Forza Brendan right now. If Forza Brendan, if Sabino pits, then this is going to unleash Heated, and I think Heated definitely has the pace, he has the tyres to overtake Forza Brendan. So I would be amazed if Sabino makes it to the end on those tyres.
Yeah, it'd be an absolute miracle there for the Haas driver. I think he can't pull out those penalties. He does have 3 seconds of time penalty, so all he has to really do, I think the lowest he can kind of finish here is fifth, I want to say. Maybe sixth. Yeah, probably fifth, because Storm, Ryan, B, Goldie, those are 6th, 7th, and 8th. They all have 3-second time penalties. Goldie's been driving with his. He was the first driver to get that time penalty, but right now Sabino trying to keep as many positions as possible. Possible top 5 he is on here for tonight. Major Falcon, the next driver without a time penalty, but 8.8 seconds behind Goldie, who's 3.3 seconds behind Ryan B. But now the train for the top 4 starting to close up and starting to get a little bit more interesting here at the top of Division 4. Ekos not able to get within DRS range there on that lap. He went half a second faster than his personal best and only a tenth of a second slower than the fastest lap of the race, but still not able to get within DRS range there for the time being. Forza Brennan will lead from Sabino, from Heated, from United Bosnia, but no one able to make moves. United Bosnia lower than 10% ERS. Heated just ducking under 10%. Sabino is just around 20. Forza Brennan is just on 16, breaking there into turn 4. This is what Forza Brennan needs for the championship. He's right now gaining 10 points on Heated, and Calvin is not scoring points. He's only 3.6 seconds off of the points positions, but also has a 3-second time penalty to add to his woes. So right now, Forza Brennan, this is the first major step that he needs towards this championship title.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think he needs to get past Sabino. If he gets all out of shape at turn 9 on top of the hill, if he gets past Sabino, I think he wins this race. But as we were saying with Ekos, just the DRS train, Forza Brennan's playing this beautifully. I think Forza Brennan could pull away from Sabino if he wanted to. But he knows
another 3-second.
Yeah, he knows though, if he keeps Sabino in DRS, that's a buffer towards Heat, and that's not letting Heat get the move done, because Heat can't get by with the DRS, as we only have 2 DRS zones, or we only have 2. It's very difficult to overtake or follow through a chicane and up the top of the hill of turn 9. But Heat is very close to Sabino, the closest he's been in a long time. But Sabino has the most DRS out of all of them. He isn't using, surprisingly, he's only opened the DRS now, and he is going to have a great chance to send it down the inside of turn 1, and he does. I think Sabino might have just broken a little bit earlier, maybe letting him by, maybe trying to look after the tyres, get to the end. But this is what we want. We got first and second in the championship now. First and second on track. He has come all the way from last position, is now in second, and he's got 7 and a bit laps to catch his championship rival and gain 7 massive points on him. If he wins this race, it's race of the season for a driver of, like, it's unreal. He was last place, crashed out in quali, and if he wins this race, it'll be just something that we haven't seen in LOE for a very long time.
Yeah, definitely be a class above the rest of the field, especially in this drive here in Spain. He did the same thing in Japan. Obviously, as you mentioned, strategy as well as weather affected that one towards the end of the race. But he was fighting with Calvin Brendan, and it was Calvin Brendan and himself all fighting for that race win. But now it's going to be Brendan and Heated for the fighting for the race win here tonight. Sabino is obviously within DRS range and still pretty close, but now Forza Brendan started to turn it up. You can see the gap to Sabino starting to falter between himself and between Heated. Forza Brendan, though, trying to pick up the pace and started to use a little bit of ERS, and now Heated was almost dropped out of DRS range there. Now Forza Brendan moving to the right side. Sabino's into the pit lane, though, so he's going to be off those tires, and now he's going to be dropping well back through the field. He just realized that, oh wait, my tires are about to pop, so I must come into the pit lane. I'm guessing a set of soft tires. Yeah, just trying to make it to that soft window, and will definitely be going for fastest lap. He should just come out in behind Camel, but does have those 9 seconds of time penalties, which will not help him. Now it's going to be Forza Brendan and Heated. They're going to be throwing a huge fist at each other for this race win. They're going to be fighting. Those are going to be the 2 guys fighting for this race win. United Bosnia in behind, followed by Ekos. This could actually be pretty decent for Ekos as well. Calvin picking up a 3-second time penalty and then setting fastest lap of the race. It's the only thing he can really get now, but he's not in the point scoring positions, so he's not going to be picking up that 1.4 fastest lap for the time being. Just getting onto the back of Cali there a little bit further down the field. But Ekos trying to get past United Bosnia, just not quite close enough yet. I think the 2 Ferraris are fighting a little bit further down the field for 9th place. Their ramp does have a time penalty, and Camel is completely clean. United Bosnia, though, into turn 13, has a little bit of lock up there on the front right, so maybe just pushing a little bit too hard. Forza Brendan obviously has the pace to win this race. Now it's going to be Heated. It's all going to be on Heated. The pressure is on Heated here to make this race win and make the overtake.
Yeah, and he's struggling a little bit last 2 laps out with the chicane. He's locking up, going over, taking too much curve, unsettling the car too much. And that's just hampering his chances of getting the move done down the through one. And Ekos again, that's another lap set behind United Bosnia. And if he could get past United Bosnia, who knows? He could end up winning this race. He's on a fresh set of mediums, but of course he's been on those mediums now for a good few laps, so his medium tires will be balancing out with those with the hards. So he's not going to have the pace advantage he had about 5 or 6 laps to go. So Yeah, it's all down to Heated. If he wants to win this race, he has a great opportunity to do it. It'd be huge for the championship if he gets this win. And yeah, he needs. Can't forget, Forza Brendan pitted lap 9. Now, unless his tyre wear is very good, it's still a stretch making those hard go all that way in the race. So who knows? It could have last lap punches or anything. Still plenty of stuff in the air at the moment. But at the moment, Forza Brendan just seems to have him covered. But Heated is closest he's been to him in a long time. So I'll be interested to see, can he stick this close to him through the final sector? This is where Forza Brendan seems to have the upper hand on him. It reminds me a bit like Verstappen, Kimi Räikkönen a few years ago, where Verstappen got his first win on older tyres. He just managed to have a great exit out of the chicane every lap, and seen it again. Forza Brendan managed to pull a bit of a buffer. 6/10, will it be enough? They're both I say both D-rated. Forza Brendan has 30%. He's starting to use some now, so he's got to use everything. And it's going to be not close enough this lap, but he's getting closer and closer. And the more Forza Brendan has to use his ERS, the more balance he will get. But Ecos behind, getting past United Bosnia turn number 1. So maybe we're going to have a 3-man fight for this win, and it's going to get very spicy indeed.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen here in Division 4. You never know what's going to happen here in League of Europe in general, though. But Forza Brendan and Heated leading the race, leading the championship for the time being as well. The gap between these two drivers, 24 points. Heated could bring this down to 17, or Forza Brendan could extend it to 31. Who knows what's going to happen here tonight? What's going to happen in these last 5 laps of the race? Heated right on the limit there on the inside of turn 9. Ecos making the move past United Bosnia. As you mentioned, he could be the driver to bring himself back into this one. Storm and Ryan B are right on the back of this train now as well. Ryan B on the medium tires was a little bit further back than Ecos was when he came out on the fresh medium tires and not able to make his way through the train quite yet. Brandon has lagged out of the session, so that's really unfortunate there for him. But now this is going to be Heated's opportunity. One of his last opportunities to win this race. He saved up a little bit of ERS on this lap, but Forza Brendan has 20% and starts to use it just as they cross the start-finish line. Heated sets his personal best lap of the race, a 118.3, using all the ERS that he can manage, and now they're just pressuring Brandon into using the ERS that he needs to. But Brandon, all he has to do is use the ERS out of the final corner, and then he'll be pretty much good, because Heated has absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and Brandon's playing this perfectly, to be honest. He's just using his ERS in the perfect moment. He's waiting for Heated to get close to him, and then he decides to punch it and start using it. But you can just tell he is tired. He's in such better shape. He's pushing Forza Brendan around sector 1 and 2, but then he comes to sector 3, and he's just struggling so much to follow, and that's what's hampering him at the moment. He can't get a good enough exit out of the last chicane to warrant getting close enough to have a move into turn 1. So fair play to Forza Brendan. He's driving absolutely amazingly right now. He's just counting down the laps, counting down the opportunities that he has, and he's managed to keep a bit more ERS. He's got about 10% more ERS than Heated as well, so that 10%
Ooh, mistake from Heated.
Too much curve, yeah. He got away with it. I think, he lost it again. That's going to let Ecos back in. He's very close.
Out of DRS. Heated's out of DRS.
Yeah. He's out of DRS. That's huge. That is huge. I think Ecos might be in DRS of yeah, I'm pretty sure Ecos. Yeah, he's in the DRS of Goldie. So, or not Goldie, sorry. Heated. So, yeah, big mistake by Heated, and that's going to cost him a chance of overtaking. So we don't even have 2 more laps to make this move, or he's going to get overtaken himself. So that mistake could be huge for Heated right now.
I think that might have just cost Heated the race win, or a chance at the race win, because now Brandon, all he has to do is just go flat out to the end of the race, keep it on the track, make sure he doesn't get a penalty, because he knows he can defend from Heated. All he has to do, save up as much ERS as possible, because Ecos, there's no way if Heated can get back within DRS range. I think actually Forza Brendan, the right decision for him would let Heated within DRS range, but only around 9/10, 8/10 for Heated there, because Ecos then can't make his way past. Heated's not going to be close enough to make the move and going down that huge front straight down towards turn 1, because that's really Heated's only opportunity to make the move here. But Forza Brendan going into the final sector for I believe the third to last time here on the Saturday evening for round number 11, the Spanish Grand Prix. Could this be Forza Brendan's opportunity to make his step in the championship? It would be his 4th race win of the season, as Sabino picks up, I think that's going to be his 12th, either 12 seconds or going to be 15 seconds penalties there. As the intervals start to glitch out a little bit, all my intervals have disappeared, bar Marty's to Brendan's, but now they will come back as they cross the start-finish line. Is this Heated? Heated trying to get onto the back of Forza Brendan into the first sector, but not going to be quite close enough to make the move. We're on the penultimate lap here in Spain. What can Heated do? What can Ecos do to try and change the outcome of this race?
Yeah, this is going to come down to the last lap, maybe even the last corner. Still plenty of drama to be had. This could be massive for the championship. This is a massive 25 points for Forza Brendan. It could be a huge 25 points for Heath as he try and claw back some points on Forza Brendan. All we know is it's not helping Calvin at all. He's come into the pits again, I believe he has. Yeah, he's come into the pits once again from P12. If he's giving up a point, well, he had a couple of time penalties, so he wasn't going to pick up any points anyway. But you can just tell Heath cannot follow Forza Brendan through the fast corners. Through turn 9 on the last sector, he cannot follow. But he needs to have a monster last sector here. He needs to be within 3 or 4 tenths of Forza Brendan coming out last corner. Let's see if he can do it.
It's going to be interesting to see what he can do off of turn 14, off of turn 15, and even really off of turn 16. He has to use all the ERS that he can absolutely manage because Sabino's out of the race. Oh, that's really unfortunate there for Sabino, but Heated now through the final chicane, all over the curbs. And Forza Brendan, I think that's what he's done. He's used all he has to do is use all of his ERS down this first straight, and then use it down the second straight where the only other DRS zone is here. But Forza Brendan and Heated not going to be switching positions here down towards turn 1. Ekos has made a mistake in the final sector. Is not going to be close enough to make the move either. United Bosnia just outside of DRS range, so a little bit anticlimactic there onto the final lap here. But Forza Brendan, I think, has made a little bit of a mistake and starting to derate. Heated has even less ERS than Forza Brendan does. Let's see what Heated can do. Heated's going to be going absolutely flat out to try and get onto the back of the Alpha Tower just in front of Forza Brendan. Is going to be trying his absolute hardest to extend his championship lead to 31 points to Heated L8. Jeff predicted Heated for a good result. He picked up a penalty. No.
Wow, he's going to drop 3 positions here. He's going to drop.
He's going to drop the 4th.
Might even be 5th. Oh no, Ryan B has a pen. Sorry, Ryan B has a pen. Yeah, he's going to drop down to 4th. That is huge. That is massive for the championship. That is. Oh my goodness.
Forza Brendan can just drive it home now. Ekos is going to be getting a 2nd place on his debut, I do believe. United Bosnia is going to be picking up 3rd place. Heated has absolutely thrown this race in the bin. P19 to P2, and then a penalty on the final lap. That's not what you would have wanted. But Forza Brendan, coming out of turn 16, he's going to be winning this race. Absolutely deserved there from Forza Brendan. Pole position to the win. That's what champions can do. Defended from Heated the entire race. Defended from everyone he needed to. Got through the traffic almost perfectly. We say almost. I was almost able to get through the traffic there. But Forza Brendan will win. 1 second to Ekos. And United Bosnia, half a second behind there. Heated finishes P4. Ryan B on the alternate strategy, as well as Ekos, the hard to the medium, P5. Goldie, P6. Storm does 24 laps on his hard tires. And if you look on board with him, has a puncture there on the front left. And is finishing in P7. Camel is going to be P8. Major Falcon from somewhere near the front row is going to be P9. Ramp P10. He's going to be picking up 3 points. Callie's going to be finishing P11. And Poldy Poles P12. But the headline here tonight, Calvin out of the points. That's the least he would have wanted from this race. Spun on lap 1 and then just got caught up in incidents later on. Picked up wing damage when he's on for a really good result. He obviously has fastest lap now to take that with him. But the consolation, that doesn't matter now. He's in the championship fight. He can't be finishing 13th with fastest lap.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's out of it, but like he's got a tall order to do right now as his teammate and their champion leader. 25 points gained on him there, and that's just huge for the champion. We've only got 5 races left, so he doesn't have much time to get back. But that he was driving. I get driver today by the game, and deservedly so, I guess. He came from last to 4th, but it could have been second. It could have been the win. He just seemed to struggle quite a lot out of that last chicane, and in the end, picking up that time penalty that's ultimately cost him 2 positions. And what turned out to be a decent race, he's only going to lose 7 points. He's now lost 10. If I'm matter
13, I believe.
13, sorry, yeah, 13. Yeah, you can come 5th. So that's huge. That is huge for him. And Forza Brendan, showing what champions are made of, showing why he is the leader of this division right now. He was under pressure so much. He had to go through the traffic of Major Falcon and Sabino, it feels like an age ago, and he managed to do it, managed to hold back Heated, played it beautifully, and that's why he's winning the championship, and that's why he is today's race winner.
Yeah, it was definitely Forza Brendan's 4th race win here in Division 4, but he's going to be followed by Ekos, though. A very, very good debut there for the reserve drive. United Bosnia is going to be finishing 3rd place. United Heated with that very, very late time penalty. He's going to be finishing in 4th. Ryan B 5th. Goldie 6th. Storm 7th. Camel 8th. Major Falcon 9th. Ramp is going to be P10. Callie and Poldy Poles will round out the points positions, but headline as we mentioned, Calvin outside of the points. He does get fastest lap on a 116.252, but obviously wing damage, 2-time penalties, not helping his cause. Marty, Brandon, Jordan, Sabino, Samti, and Dirtim are going to be the rest of the drivers. Samti, Dirtim, both not finishing. Sabino crashed out as well at the top of turn 9. And then Brandon, Kills Instinct's prediction, just seemed to have the pace, but I think he just caught up in a few incidents as well.
Yeah, that race had a bit of everything. Mixed strategies, drivers making mistakes, late penalties, late drama. It's what we love to see here in Division 4, and hopefully we have a few more races like that as we head down into the final 5 races. But yeah, that's a race that's going to be one that will point towards if Forza Brennan does go on to win the championship, this is going to be one of the races that will be, this is why he's champion, this is why he will win Division 4, if he does win it, of course, because that was a great race by him. And unfortunately for he drove a great recovery race, and who knows, if he had actually had a good quality, if he had managed to get a lap in, who knows where he could have been. He could have won that race. So a lot of if, buts and maybes, and we'll see how it goes again next week in Division 4.
Yeah, most definitely. But great race there. Round 11 of the championship here for League of Europe Division 4. It was a great race. Forza Brennan asserting himself at the top of the championship. I think his lead is now going to be 37 points to Heated there. So great buffer there for Forza Brennan going into what would be the last 5 rounds, I want to say.
5.
Yeah, 5 rounds for the championship. I think next time out is going to be at Bahrain, and the week following is going to be at the Netherlands. But just in around 15 minutes, I want to say, Division 2 and Division 5 are going to be kicking off. Go watch Gary and myself there at Division 2 and Tin Can and Maverick commentating over at Division 5. So, once again, thank you, Division 4. Great race to commentate over. And that's been all, folks.